Hey everyone, it's Jen. It's early morning. My neighbor's mower just stopped, thankfully. There's beautiful drum music coming from that direction, which is really nice on a Sunday morning. And I am picking peppermint. So this is one of my favorites in flower. And this is a new bed. And there's another whole bed over there. I call them peppermint islands because they keep them in an island situation so that they don't take over other gardens, because peppermint likes to do that. So it's kind of nice to give it a contained container space. And then it can just do what it wants, and you can pick as much as you want. And the more you pick, the more you get. Is the way it rolls with peppermint. I pick like the top 4 to 6 inches. There'll be some stems because I dry it, so there'll be some stems in your dried herb, but once you dry it and then put it in a bowl, and I just sort of like gently squeeze it with my hands, and then the stems are stiff and you can kind of pick the stems out. It's not a big deal. What do I use this for? I actually make a tincture of it now, and I didn't always love it as a tincture, but working it into some bitters formulas, and for some folks that just aren't going to drink tea, they're just not going to make it. I mean, we got to know who we are. Then the tincture can be really convenient. But I tend to move it more as a dried herb, even in my own house. Like, this is going to be dried for my winter apothecary for teas and such. So basically it's all going to go in the dehydrator. And you see how it kind of lays down, and you just kind of comb it up, like use your fingers like a comb, and then 4 to 6 inches, just cut it off. You can be pretty aggressive with it, and peppermint's okay with that. It definitely spreads by root runner. So this particular patch was struggling, and I cut it all the way to the ground and treated, there was some kind of a weird fungus, if you can believe, because peppermint is for fungus, but I didn't want it in the bed. So I cut it all the way to the ground, and I made like this cool garlic spray that I make, doused everybody and left it alone. And you can see it all came back perfect and beautiful and healthy and strong. So some of the things that I lean on peppermint for, one, I love it because it guided my journey to herbalism. I was torn between homeopathy and herbalism, and I tell this story all the time, and peppermint was the plant that made it clear to me that I was going to go to herbalism, because it's an antidote for a lot of homeopathics, according to some traditional homeopaths. So I couldn't imagine life without peppermint on a regular basis. And so I went to herbalism. That's my story. I've told it a lot. Maybe you've heard it. And what I lean on it most for is for stomach ailments first, for fever, flu, always for immune system support. And because of the aromatics wafting up into your sinuses, it opens the sinuses, then secretions, it's antimicrobial. Those oils are antimicrobial. It's delicious, so it makes things taste good usually to most people. It can get pretty pungent and bitter if you make it super strong. It also doesn't lend itself to reheating or multiple brews, because all the goodness goes into the first brew. So if you're an infusion person that reinfuses your tea leaves after the first batch, it's not going to taste the same with a second brew. So with peppermint, it's one and done. I hope you can hear me. My neighbor's now mowing again. So when I go through, I just take a look. If there's leaves that look a little funky, pick them out now. The other thing I like it for is foot fungus. So usually when people present with that, there's some dietary things that need to happen. There's a pH change with the skin happening too. And included in that, I will include Usually foot soaks in a diluted apple cider vinegar and water at least twice a week for 20 minutes. And then you can put, usually I will mix tea tree and peppermint essential oils, 2 parts tea tree, 1 part peppermint, and put that neat, direct, like don't dilute it, right on nails that have fungus. Just 1 drop, rub it in around the cuticle. You could also put a few drops into the vinegar soak as well. So it works really great for that. But I love it for traveler's belly. If you get a little nauseous with motion sickness and things like that, it's really great for that. It travels easy. Children love it. Usually our elders love it when we start to get picky about taste at any point in our life. Even when we're sick, sometimes taste is a very a tricky thing. You know, like we just start to be more sensitive to, these are beautiful, aren't they? So just, yeah, you just like comb it up like so, give it a snip, and you have this beautiful peppermint. I also like it for clearing the mind. It does have this mind clearing. So there's these smelling salts that I used to make when I worked nights in the hospital, and it was peppermint, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And I would mix it in a small jar of salts, and keep it in my pocket, and you can inhale that, and it really helps bring alertness, awakeness, and brain function coming along if you need more of that. So that's about it. I'm gonna move down the row here. Thank you so much for watching and for me squatting in the garden, visiting me on a Sunday morning. Eclipse season is here, and there's a lot of eclipse portals coming, so I'll be posting a little more information about how to survive that, but peppermint's definitely one of them that keeps us calm. It calms, it's stimulating, and yet it's calming. Again, the paradoxical actions of plants and how beautiful they can bring in these kind of paradoxical actions. They have this mastery, this beautiful ability to navigate your internal terrain and bring what it is that you need. So that's why they have these balancing actions that science can't quite figure out yet, which is fine, but one day they probably will. But in the meantime, we just keep doing what we know, which is the plants are brilliant. They are quite masterful. We've been evolving on them for a really long time. Our bodies know them, you know, plants were here before us. So, all right, thank you for listening.